HarperAudio Australia presents The Life-Changing Magic of a Little Bit of Mess by Kerri Sackville. Read by me, Kerri Sackville. For Kylie, a person living bravely with neatness. An apology from the publisher. Dear listener, many of you will have seen our promotional material for a forthcoming inspirational book on home management. It was advertised in our newsletter late last year as a new domestic Bible from one of this country's most inspirational women. You may therefore be surprised and confused to see that we at HarperCollins have published this book, The Life-Changing Magic of a Little Bit of Mess, instead of, say, How to Sanitize Your Home Using Only Water and a Positive Mindset, or The Transformational Power of Throwing All Your Things Away, or Heal Your Pain with Housework. To clarify, the audiobook you are listening to is a result of a very slight error on the part of one of our junior editors, whose name we cannot print due to ongoing litigation. You see, just over a year ago, we at HarperCollins became enamoured of the work of a prominent social media influencer in the aspirational home management space. This influencer, who homeschools her 7 children while running her multi-million-dollar kale juice business, shot to fame when photos of her stunning, all-white house and breathtaking glass pantry went viral. With an Instagram following of over 2 million, this influencer is one of the leading voices of domestic artistry in the country. We at HarperCollins were keen to offer her a book deal so that she could bring her message of attainable perfection to a new audience keen to live their best lives in their most pristine homes. Unfortunately, this influencer has a rather similar-sounding name to another media personality, Kerri Sackville, a lifestyle writer with a significantly smaller following. In a deeply regrettable mix-up, the junior HarperCollins editor charged with approaching the influencer accidentally approached Ms. Sackville instead. We are legally obliged to note that this editor was severely exhausted after staying up all night reorganising her pantry. By the time we realised the junior editor's mistake, Ms. Sackville had signed the book contract. Now, Kerri Sackville is a competent writer, but she is not what one would call inspirational, particularly when it comes to the realm of home management. It is well documented that Kerri destroyed her own oven in her first and only attempt to clean it, did a television interview from her bedroom with her wardrobe door open and her bras in full view, and once had a serious weevil infestation in her kitchen. We at HarperCollins champion writers who make all sorts of life choices, but really, no one aspires to have weevils. Still, the contract was signed and we are legally obliged to publish, so here is Kerri's book. The junior editor has since left HarperCollins and is selling her own range of bespoke mason jars. As for the inspirational influencer with the White House and glass pantry, well, she has deactivated her Instagram account after a plagiarism scandal involving hashtags and pantry liners, so it's probably all for the best. A note from the author. I was surprised and delighted to be asked by HarperCollins to write an inspirational book on home management. To be honest, until I was approached by the HarperCollins editor, I hadn't considered myself to be an inspirational writer. More specifically, I hadn't considered myself to be an inspirational person. I haven't donated a kidney, or climbed Everest on one leg, or raised millions of dollars for charity, or saved a child from a speeding train. I did once rescue a baby who had fallen out of his pram, but it was my own baby, and he fell out because I'd forgotten to strap him in, so I'm fairly sure that doesn't count as heroic. I've certainly not regarded myself as inspirational on the domestic front. My attitude to housework can best be described as relaxed, although my family use a slightly different term. I have a high tolerance for mess, I take a lot of naps, and, in the spirit of full disclosure, I have had weevils in my kitchen. Still, one woman's shame is another's inspiration. The visionary HarperCollins editor, a lovely young woman called, name redacted, saw something in me that I hadn't even seen in myself. In her initial email to me last year, she wrote, I admire how you juggle work with the demands of a large family and still maintain an aspirational Instagram account. Initially, I was confused. I mean, my family isn't that large. And I wondered if perhaps she was confusing me with someone else. But then I reviewed my entire Instagram history and I began to see myself through name redacted's eyes. The photos include me looking bemused in front of my recently exploded oven, me posing for a selfie,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?